Hello, everybody. I'm Puppetine from the Geeky Puppet Show, here once again to discuss Batwoman. And of course, to join me is that amphibian you all know from the darkness, Froggy. Hello.
Hi.
So we are here today to talk about Batwoman. Yep, Batwoman, it is time. And Marania, hello to you. She is here to learn about it.
I'm here to unlearn about it.
I wish we could. Listen, just to give the quick initial thoughts, this is really just hard to watch. It just gets more painful every week.
It's like you watch your favorite thing burn a little bit more and get a little more insulted as the seasons go.
Yeah. It started.
It's your favorite dog, your best friend. Somebody lit him on fire. He survived that. Only for the next year, someone to shoot him.
They kicked him. But let's go ahead and describe what happens in this episode. So it turns out that Mary, who was pulled by vines last episode, just slept on a park bench. That's all there is to it. She remembers nothing else. But we do see her on the park bench though, and that she was the vines coming off her. She was placed onto the park bench, and the vines slid away. So, is it poison ivy, or is it going to be some stupid thing? And then she gets poison ivy.
I'm hoping it is, because the whole psychosis thing. Maybe that's how she got the solution to cure that person. The plant.
Oh, yeah, maybe. And that's going to come up later. But nobody else would know about that, because when she tries to bring it up, Ryan is too busy obsessed with the fact that she got on the 30 over 30 list because her brother arranged it. And now they're going to a party together.
30 under 30.
That's what I said.
I think you said over.
No, 30 under 30.
Okay.
No, they're going to a party to celebrate the event, and it turns out that who but Sophie's sister is there. Jordan, I believe her name is, and she's going to give a big speech. But the party goes awry. Why? Well, because turns out she was going after a group called the Black Glove Society.
Or better known as Alice put, the Bee Gees.
That's just an insult to the Bee Gees.
Hey. Just make sure you're staying alive.
Well, you can tell from the way I move my walk, I'm a woman's man. I've got no time to talk. Okay, time to review. I've got time to review. No time to talk, though. But because of this, she gets kidnapped.
Stay alive. Stay alive. Stay alive.
Yeah. And that is how we lose all of our subscribers.
In 3 minutes, if you clicked on this and you saw this, joke's on you for not watching the rest of us. That's for you to suffer with.
But getting back to it, so she's kidnapped by the Bee Gees, and she is taken to a room where she is frozen. Yes, it actually started out with showing somebody frozen, and they took a step, and their legs just gave crumbled into pieces.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Doesn't have to be a snowman. There's women too.
Hey, just let it go.
Oh, for the first time in forever, Anyway, enough of those frozen jokes, because I already did the cool episode one in the tweet. It's not a cool episode.
Let's blow this popsicle stand and let's go to the Iceberg Lounge.
Yeah, let's go see the penguin. But getting back to it, so she's kidnapped and frozen, and they find her in the room. They are very careful, and they take her back to the lab, so that way, you have Mary to work on her.
You're skipping over other parts. I hate when you do this. You just go, I'm just going to sum it up and just skip everything else that led to Jordan. The same guy in the hat, we found out he works for the Bee Gees. He kidnapped basically the other assistants. Jordan was helping out with two other people. those two other people were basically abducted, taken up to another room in the hotel where the little fundraiser's going. And it starts off with the one girl. She's like, she's sitting on the couch. He's like, all right, yeah, you're back to life. He's like, you guys, he's recording reanimation, like, you're free to go. She stands up, and then her legs fall apart, and she just shatters and just falls into meat chunks.
Yep.
And then we see, during the party, what's his name is upset because because her brother,
Marique
is upset because Ryan's asked, "Where have you been?" Because Jordan's gone, and then he also asks, "How did you know where she'd be? What room?" And he gets all upset as Luke says, "Hey, he probably is funding them. As far as you know, they get their money from somewhere." And he was close, almost close, because we find out at the end it wasn't Luke or it wasn't Marique giving them money, but it was someone in their bloodline.
I wonder who. Dun dun dun. But
the book of love.
We also have to deal with Alice this episode because Alice is going some definite changes. She has delusions. Yes.
She sees an orderly and she snaps his neck in the room and then knocks on the door and the guy sees nothing. So she's going crazy. So she asks to speak to Renee Montoya. Makes up a lie about some villain called Icarus. Or Icarus. Maybe he is. That might be an Easter egg. We don't know.
Ooh.
I haven't really read a lot of DC back in the day. But apparently there's a guy named Icarus who had magical boots that was supposed to be a villain of Batman's. At least that's the lie that she told to Renee Montoya, who's supposed to be like the smart cop. But she still let Alice go, and then she's in the clinic with Mary, and and then I love how like Alice is kind of like is like, this gives her crap.
Yeah,
it's Mary should get crap.
And actually Sophie is freaking out because her sister is frozen, a living popsicle.
And it was Alice who, by taking the phone, actually figured out who it was. They took him.
Yep, the Bee Gees.
It was the Bee Gees.
And so Sophie takes her to look over Jordan's apartment. She has a little more problems with that orderly that she imagined up. But soon enough, she finds a file in the vents. And that's when the Black Glove Society is right behind her. And so she just gives it, and they try to do an attack. Mm-hmm. And
Alice doesn't know if they're real or not because she saw the orderly again in the room.
She asks, hey, "By any chance, are you fake? Are you made up?" And the fight goes over quickly. Both she and Sophie are knocked out and then tied up to a chair. And that's
and then this is where we point out a really big flaw with this character now for the writers who are writing this. Sophie used to be a badass crow. Gets taken down easily. Comes to a place where she knows that people might, bad people took her sister, did that to her. Even though she's not a crow anymore, she does not have a gun.
Yep.
She goes in there armless.
In Gotham City.
In Gotham, you don't have a freaking gun.
You don't have a gun.
Yeah. So she gets pistol whipped too. And they're tight. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right.
It's ridiculous.
It's very ridiculous.
Ridiculous. How can this?
It's ridiculous,
my friend. Let this happen. This is insane in the membrane.
Yep, very, very insane in the membrane.
But at the trap, it's all set up. They have books and gasoline, and it's going to light them on fire. But that's when Ryan comes in with a big old ice gun and just freezes the fire. And
no, not an ice gun. She just has another tank. At least it unleashes the gas.
Oh, it looks like it was a gun, but
no gun.
Yep, it says that Luke figured out that they were going after the files that she had on her phone, so they went there.
Did you easily figure out where the files was? Because I did right away. I'm like, oh look, where would she keep it at? Oh look, there's a vent up there where everyone keeps their stuff. Freaking what's his name? Walter White kept his files in an event inside a diaper box. That's where he kept his money and everything else.
But Mary is actually able to, without the solution even, able to figure out how to unfreeze Jordan
by looking at plants.
By looking at plants, because you have to warm her from within. That's what you realize.
Yes, because plants go through their own thaw. They create their own antifreeze.
Yes.
They freeze during winter, and then they thaw out, and then come back to life.
So they do that, and it leads to a moment where, after it's all said and done, and she's okay, Alice is like, you know what? Yeah, Arkham's not treating you right, basically. And so, what if I had somebody watching me? Because she can't run away because she has those nanobots in her.
Yep, and because they need this to work with Nantoya. Otherwise, Alice will go and tell him who she is.
Yep. And so she is going to be living with Sophie.
Yep. But I also want to point out there's another big thing too. There was actually yeah. I can't believe you forgot to mention this. Sorry, the new comic kind of threw me off.
I don't know who Maggie is.
Maggie's from she's actually the one that was with Alex. She's the detective.
Oh, her.
She's actually from the actual comic book. She was a detective.
No, I know Maggie Lawson.
Maggie Sawyer.
Well, she does not. He does not want her to kiss her because she belongs with Kate Kane.
Yep.
Not random OC bad fan fiction.
No, I was going to point out that while she's going to look at a cure, Luke, she's pissed off that Luke gave her the cold shoulder. And, and what's her name does point out, he's like, well, sorry, Ryan points out to Mary, he's like, well, you did kind of like, decide to play doctor and do this, it wasn't your decision. So yeah. And I like how they kind of give each other like a lip back and forth. I'm just thinking like what a hypocrite.
A little bit, yeah. But this gets
and then the bat suit we find out too. The Batwing suit.
Yes.
He turns the failsafe back on, and he finally says, "Oh, Dad, I want to hear your voice. I need questions. Blah 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 blah. What's going on?
Tell me, Daddy, am I worthy?" No, son.
And he basically says, "You are not ready to put out this suit. The suit's only designed to have the failsafe on with the AI."
Yep. And this leads us to our last scene. We see the guy from the Black Glove Society. He sits on down, and it's in the office of Jada Jet, who is trying to sabotage Wayne Enterprises, get her illegitimate daughter off the board, get her taken down as CEO. She's making a play for Wayne Enterprises. So, what I meant to say was, we see Ryan go to her brother and say, "Hey, we can team up against Jada." But this leads to a moment later where we're talking about right now. Jada is with the Black Glove Society guy, the Bee Gees, and tells him, "Oh, you have it? It's all ready? Okay. Well, I don't care what you did to actually get it, but it looks like it's time for my son to take that leave of absence." Yeah, so this woman's just plain evil.
And this comes to my other theory. Is this kid going to get injected this, and then is he going to become the new Victor Freeze legacy character?
Ugh.
He becomes a villain. Because remember, they're going to pull this crap. Kate Kane had Alice. Ruby needs her own. Not Ruby. Ryan Wilder needs her own villain sibling.
Oh, maybe.
And then you're gonna see Alice exit the show. And I'm just gonna say, screw this, and I'm just gonna burn everything down.
And you're gonna make me watch alone? You're gonna make me suffer alone?
I'm gonna become the new Killer Croc and bite her head off.
Listen here, Frog, you're not leaving me to this alone. You're going to stay here and watch with me. You got it?
I only have one thing to say to you. Listen closely. Eat at Joe's.
Anyway,
because that's where they'll serve your hot death, you puppet.
We have finished this, and we just asked you to look at the ticker right here. We did a little bit. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Did you enjoy the show? We did not. But if you did, tell us why. We accept all kinds of opinions as long as they aren't, just rude. But please just let us know. Also, check out the Ko-Fi. We do comic book readings on here. It might be slowing down a little bit in the next coming month because of personal puppet reasons. But we want to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. So for Froggy and myself, one last thank you before we say bye!
Good night, and eat at Joe's, or I'll find you.
And freeze you.